Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of 2021 meeting dates was published in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Eastern Express Times on January 14th, 2021, and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. Action may now be taken. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Adam.
Columbus.
Here.
Barry.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Grange.
Here.
And Lee.
Here. Okay, first up on the agenda tonight, something very exciting. I think everyone knows this is the second year Highbridge has participated in the New Jersey League of Municipalities Lewis Bay II Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Program. Last year was our first year, as far as I know, of entering in the program. This year we asked for juniors and seniors from Highbridge, anyone that was interested, to write an essay on the theme, how has local government played a role in your life regarding the ongoing pandemic? So pretty hot topic. We had a few applicants. We set a small committee to review the essays that we received, and I'm happy to announce that the winning applicant that will be sent, or the winning essay that will be sent to represent Highbridge as a state semifinalist is Elizabeth Curtin. I think Elizabeth is on this call tonight, Ellie.
Hey, Ellie. Congratulations.
That's great.
I don't know if we can make her a panelist to just kind of wave or whatever, but it is pretty exciting. I'm excited to send her essay down. If I may brag for Ellie a little bit, she's chosen Clark University, and she's going to be a political science major with an area of interest of public policy. So maybe nice. Meet her at this dais one day with, Lynn Hughes might still be a councilwoman at that point, but
Thank you.
Hey, where is she? Oh, hey, Ellie.
Yeah. She is. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Ellie.
Congrats.
So Ellie's essay goes on to the state. There is an opportunity to be selected as one of 3 winners on the whole state for $1,000 scholarship. So really excited for you, Ellie, and looking forward to hearing of all the good things you're going to accomplish in life. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And you'll get, you and I will talk more after this meeting. We'll have something for you. Okay, on to proclamations. So let me just get my supporting docs. The first one is the Arbor Day. We have a number of proclamations tonight. Proclamation in support of Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Norton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. Whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Borough Council of the Borough of Highbridge that we do hereby proclaim Friday, April 30th as Arbor Day in the Borough of Highbridge, and we urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day by planting a tree to support efforts to protect our borough trees. Anyone wants to plant some trees? We have lots of trees that we need and lots of places to put them. So please reach out to anyone on this call tonight. Next up, we have a proclamation for Earth Day, which is today. I think it's the 50th anniversary.
51st.
51st, okay. 51st 21st anniversary of Earth Day. Whereas in 1970, I could have figured that out right there and then. United States Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day. It was first held in the United States on April 22nd, the birthday of J. Sterling Morton, the founder of Arbor Day. The first Earth Day led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of the Clean Air, Clean Water, and Endangered Species Act. Earth Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas Earth Day is intended to inspire awareness of and appreciation for the Earth's environment, and now therefore be it proclaimed by the Borough Council and of the Borough of Highbridge that we do hereby proclaim Wednesday, April 22nd, 2021 as Earth Day in the Borough of Highbridge, and we urge all citizens to celebrate Earth Day and to support efforts to protect our environment. One more. We saved the best for last, okay? I know that in case anybody's not really noticing, we have a lot of participants on this call tonight, many of them from our Highbridge Middle School. This is a proclamation recognizing Highbridge students for their fundraising effort. And I'll say it in the proclamation here. It has all the details. We're recognizing Highbridge youth of today as our future leaders. And the Highbridge Middle School Student Leadership Group has proven they are willing and able to accept the challenges that lie ahead. And as participants in the Lead for Change curriculum, the Highbridge Middle School Leadership Group recognized the need for a new swing set at Union Forge Park, and took it upon themselves to raise funds to support the borough in replacement of the swing set. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of Highbridge recognize the efforts of the Highbridge Middle School Leadership Group and their commitment to the borough and the well-being of its citizens, and graciously accept the donation of $2,000 towards a new swing set at Union Forge Park. Thank you to the Highbridge Middle School students. Awesome job. So that's going to go into a little fund, and we have some improvements already on the way for that park. So we really appreciate the support of all you guys. So anybody else want to add anything to our middle school students on the call?
Congratulations, and I think it's wonderful that our youth are involved in our community.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody. Great job.
When we get that swing set, we'll make sure you guys know about it. We'll have an unveiling, and maybe we'll have a community day someday again. So we'll see. So thanks, everybody. You're free to go. You don't have to sit through the rest of the call. You're welcome to join us if you like. But we're going to go on to the regular business. Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the April 8th, 2021 regular minutes?
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to approve the April 8th, 2021 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Abstain?
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, on to public comments. It is the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue shall be limited to 5 minutes per person, and no person may make more than one comment per subject. Comments may be made on any subject pertaining to borough issues. Comments pertaining to public hearings should be saved for that section of the agenda. No debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to mayor and council at the public microphone.
Okay, so if anybody has a raise your hand button, you all should at the bottom unless you're calling in. You can utilize that for letting us know if you have any public comments. If you're a phone caller, I'm going to use the ask you to unmute function now. In case you do have any comments, let us know, and we will take them. Okay, Mayor, I don't see any hands, and I don't see any unmute from, I believe it's Sally Ward at this time, so I think we're good.
Okay. Public hearings. Ordinance 2021-015, parking kiosk. Motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me kick this one off. This ordinance is really just to appropriate funds to a parking kiosk in the future. We are still working out some of the details around this. We're looking to potentially put a parking kiosk at the Commons. As much as, you know, we do think it's an opportunity to generate some revenue for the borough through the Commons from visitors coming to town. We mentioned there won't be any charge for residents. It's also an opportunity for us to designate parking zones throughout the borough through this kiosk and the app. So, for instance, you know, we're wanting to have people park at the Commons, obviously, but we want people to park, you know, designated spots on Main Street and designated spots on McDonald or the municipal lot or at the train station. We don't want them parking, visitors I'm talking about, we don't want them parking on North Main Street. We don't want them parking on Church Street. We're looking to designate all of Solitude Village as a resident parking only. I think we had the opportunity, for better or for worse, last year to see what a worst case scenario in Highbridge looks like if we were to become, you know, the next big tourist attraction. And so it gave us the opportunity to see what we need to clean up and fix. And after many meetings, we feel that this is a good start. So I think that we still have a lot to learn and figure out, but I think we're off to a good start. I don't know if people had the chance to really read the kiosk or the parking details themselves, or even the kiosk details themselves. But it's not, you know, really life-changing for the borough. It would potentially bring in some nice revenue, but just as much as that's nice for the borough, it's also nice for the residents that they're not going to have streets cluttered with cars that don't belong there. We'll be able to enforce the 2-hour parking that's already enforced on Main Street, but we have, already in place on Main Street, but we have no way to enforce it. So this gives us the opportunity to make sure that cars on Main Street, they're there for 2 hours. You know, after that, they either need to move their car or go to the Commons and pay for parking. So really, I think that's it. I don't know, Bonnie, did I miss anything there?
No, like you said, this is the appropriation for the kiosk in the capital plan.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that the kiosk is going to be strictly for the Commons, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That the parking on Main Street, the parking in other areas of the town won't have anything to do with that kiosk.
Correct.
It won't have anything to do with that. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we would require, it would be required that we as a council come up with other means of, I mean, I guess resolutions, ordinances to deal with those other parking areas, I guess. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a cost revenue analysis of the kiosk?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Yes, we do. So back in 2019, we did a little traffic study up at the Commons. And based off of those figures, which I'm happy to share with anybody, that, you know, Chief Bartman and I worked on back then, we average about 59,000 cars coming through the Commons on a yearly basis. Now, some of those may be residents, some of those may be DPW vehicles, but let's say it's only $25,000. That's still 25,000 cars. That's still a lot of cars. And so we can make a little bit of money off of that. I don't think it's going to be, you know, restrictive. It doesn't have to be terribly expensive. But as everyone knows, we are looking to expand the parking in the Commons as well. And this is a way to help, you know, generate a little extra funds for these, you know, open space and park projects that we have.
The 59,000 cars, that's just cars that go in and out. It's not necessarily cars that park. Is that correct?
No, but I assume they're parking.
A lot of people do go and drop off leaves and
No, that's what I mean. So yeah, some of those may be included. This was just over the span of 1 week, Alan. It was Memorial Weekend in 2019 that we did this study.
So you took that week worth of traffic and expanded it to a year to estimate how many cars would...
An average, yeah.
I have an analysis I did, Alan, based on 6 months worth of usage, and I have 8 hours a day of usage for 70 spots. And I calculated it at either 100% of those spots being filled, 50% of those spots being filled, or only a quarter of those spots being filled. And I still have enough income to cover the costs, the annual costs. So I can send that to you if you'd like to review that.
I would like to see that. What are the annual costs? I understand that it's approximately $10,000 for the kiosk. Does that include power or data to that as well? Or is that just the cost of the kiosk?
The cost for the kiosk is, we have $10,000 budgeted. It's about $7,000 for the equipment. The annual cost, I believe, come to approximately $4,000.
Does the $10,000 also include the cost of powering or data? I'm not sure if it requires data either. It does, the kiosk.
Well, I think the initial $10,000 would be for the installation of the equipment, making a small cement pad, blah, 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 putting it there. And then going forward, it'd be $4,000 a year, electricity, maintenance. I believe it's cloud-based, but it would be, that would be included, I assume, and that would be the $4,000 per year.
Right, the data, the packages, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're probably almost more interested in the app that comes with this kiosk that gives us the opportunity to monitor all parking zones throughout the entire borough. So again, let's pretend that we have another crazy 4th of July weekend with a ton of people coming to town. They're not going to be able to line Solitude Village with cars because they're not permitted to park there. So we are going to have designated parking areas. We talked about the overflow potential at Union Forge Park. We're going to limit that compared to how we did it last year. And that, at least for this meeting, that's still going to be free parking. We haven't really talked about changing that at this point. But once these spots are filled, that's it. If there's nowhere to park, there's nowhere to park. I mean,
Can we limit parking on public streets to only residents?
Yeah.
Do we really want to do that?
No, I don't know legally.
Not necessarily on every street, but
I think you can have zones. I don't think you can, bar designate every street for private parking by residents.
Right.
So you specifying specific areas of town, we have that ability.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand. I think what I'm seeing in Alan's face, how would I guess there's an app that goes with buying the kiosk, which would allow the police to monitor movements of parking cars in different places, separate from the kiosk. It would go in their computer system that they drive around with, I guess.
Do you need the kiosk to purchase the app?
We do.
We do.
Well, we do, and we want to, because we think it makes sense to generate some revenue for the commons. I mean, we're potentially going to be opening that entire space. That's a lot of parking. And preliminarily, we're only looking at $1 for 2 hours worth of parking. So it's not enough to really turn anybody away, but it is a way to generate some revenue that will go right back into the park.
I think the chief wants to say something there. I see his little yellow hand.
Good evening, everyone. Brett Barber, Police Department. Councilman Schwartz, the app and the unit itself, they work in conjunction, they work in tandem, they interface together. So the app is something where we branch out to different areas. The kiosk is designed to be inside of the commons because that is proposed to be the only paid location. That's the only paid parking location. App gives us the ability, which it's called MPay. It's widely used. It gives us the ability to monitor, as the mayor said, the 2-hour parking. So we can also regulate, and inside of what we've been working on is creating resident passes. So it gives us the ability to track different areas of town where different zones were established for residential parking and limiting it to other visitors. We're able to use the app to do that and track. On Main Street, the app would give us the ability, it's free cost of parking, but it gives us the ability to track how long they've been there. It would allow them to park for 2 hours, whatever we would set it to. So it's a way for us to have a unit of measure. When we refer to metered, metered is paid or unpaid. It's just a unit of measure for the time that somebody is there for a parking occasion.
So we would put signs up throughout the town for 2-hour parking wherever we wanted 2-hour parking, right?
They're there now.
We have
We don't have a way to enforce it.
Right. I mean, currently we're not allowed to chalk tires or anything, and so this kind of takes the place of that. I gather it allows monitoring in the way that we used to by marking the tires with chalk. Is that correct?
Sorry, I'll wait till.
the way it was with they sell different types of systems now, digitalized with the handheld that parking enforcement may use, but this was what we found to be a more efficient use of the manpower and the staff that we have, where we're able to, they have the apps and they have the programs inside of the vehicles that they're able to view the cars in zones, similar they would do in any other area, as opposed to looking at each individual and scanning it like some of the other systems that we looked at, where they would have to, punch in each individual plate. They can look at a list of them. They do have the ability to, look at the plates to see if they match up against the ones that are supposed to be in that area. And it'll also give us a time of how long they have left to be there, if they've been there beyond time. And it also interfaces as well with the commons and the actual physical machine. So the physical machine gives people the ability to pay, with a card, a debit card and such, in person there, as opposed to paying on the app. They can do it either or. They would also be able to use the app in that location as well to pay.
And the other idea is we would bring in the business owners and give them the opportunity to validate any parking. So if a person doesn't want to pay for the parking and they have their ticket or the app, I'm not exactly sure how it works, and they go to that Scouts or the brewery, wherever, they can have that parking validated. So it's a nice way to bring people out of the commons and down to Main Street. And if they really don't want to pay the $1, they're going to pay on Main Street. They're going to park on Main Street anyway. And we really do have a lot of parking in this borough, but you know how we all are. We want to park a place that's closest right to the door we're going to open. But, we have parking all down Washington. We have parking both sides of Union Forge. We have parking at the train station, the municipal lot for at least another year. We have parking behind the Old Borough Hall. So we're really going to have the opportunity to designate parking. EDC is working on Google Maps and identifying where the parking is available. We're going to have that on those QR codes that EDC is working on as well. So, I really think that this is the natural next step. And it makes sense for Highbridge because we have all this open space that people are coming from far, far and away to use. We can make a little bit of money off of it.
I have a question on the time at the Commons. So are we setting a 2-hour limit there? I know this is just for the kiosk, but I'm just...
Not 2-hour limit, but $1 per 2 hours.
Okay, because I know...
2-hour limits on Main Street, really, only.
I know people will park much longer at the Commons if they're using the trails and, going to the restaurants or whatever. So, okay, that's good.
And residents will not have to pay any parking fee as long as you've gotten or requested and received a permit from the town or a sticker that we put on your car, correct?
It would actually be through the app. The app gives us the ability to do that. So working with the company, part of the fees that were involved with the yearly maintenance is a hosting fee for this system. So what we have come up with doing inside of there is what would request the resident permit from us. We would simply have to just verify that they live in town, the vehicle that they want to enter, and then it becomes an automated process from there. We take an email address that they want to use, their name. The system would automatically generate templates that go out to them about setting up the account and registering their vehicle into there, and it would work the same way. They would go into any location that would be metered. They would register that they're there, but it would come up with no cost.
Based on the license plate?
The plate is registered, yes. So the license, that car is registered as a resident permit. There's no sticker. It's all digitalized. So it's all inside of this application that we're intending to utilize.
So are you saying it goes through the police department to verify, or is it just an online application?
Well, they would come to us, and inside of the proposed ordinance, they would show us their driver's license, show that they live at a legal address inside of town, and the vehicle that they want to register.
So,
And then
so residents would have to come down to the police department to register their vehicles?
Just to
we're
the,
working on the initial rollout of this. Have to get the vehicles in there. We can look at doing something where they can send us scans of their license and their registration. That we'd be able to do that way, but we do have to have a way of verifying that they are a resident.
So it's not as is it as easy as just sending your name, address, and your license plate number, Brett?
Anybody can put that in there, so we would want to see some type of legal document that verifies who they are and what vehicle they want to use, because it's one vehicle per person that we would put in. So it's per vehicle.
One vehicle. If I have 3 registered vehicles to my name, and regardless of who drives them in my household, how does that work out?
You're there because each vehicle has its own individual permit. So it's each person and in a vehicle. So you would come in, even if you didn't have you live there, you can have somebody in a house, they would be registered. So we just need someone, even if you had a work vehicle, we would just need something from your employer that they gave it to you, that you utilize it, and then we'd set it up. But it's good for a year. So we have it set up that it's good for a year, and then it can be auto renewed. But we do want to just make sure that we're giving resident permits to residents.
And the permit's an actual sticker, or is it just in the system?
It's in the system. It's digital, and people would be able to go in because you would have an account, so you would be able to go in, you can see your information, you can see your permit, the validated, the date ranges for when it's valid, when it expires. It automatically sends you an email to let you know that it's expiring.
I mean, it's a good deal. I think the biggest downside is the inconvenience of having to register your vehicle initially. But maybe we can even think creatively and incorporate it with some event that we're doing and set up a little tape. I don't know. Just trying to think outside of the box, because it's not that much of an inconvenience considering you still get the free parking, and it really, as for the borough, really helps us with the parking, and we're trying to get ahead of what may or may not be the situation this year.
So Bonnie, how much do you project we are going to be making revenue-wise? Not revenue-wise, profit-wise on a yearly basis?
Well, I think at a minimum, we could make over $6,000 in a 6-month period at the very least, which would be enough to cover our annual costs. We don't have a 12-month calculation, but I'm figuring the 6 months from April to September, which would be the most heavily used.
So we just did a little unofficial study over the last 3 days, and we had 1,100 cars going through the commons Monday through Wednesday. That's a big number. So, I mean, some weeks we'll have more cars, some weeks less. It comes down to traffic, right? Or weather. We really don't know what weather is going to be. If we have, how many cars do you think came through there last year? I wish we had the traffic study set up there last year.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm personally thinking it'll probably cover its own costs. I'm not expecting us to see tons of money come in. I would say that to me, the value would be the ability to have data and numbers going forward about where cars are and are not parking. And eventually, if we do, we've discussed over the years paving that lot, because you can always get more cars in a lot if it's paved and lined than if it's just not. So if we were to go to a little more organized parking lot where we could have more people in there, this might give us the data to make that decision and organize it and keep track of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone knows my goal is my number one goal for the year is to get all those piles moved out of the commons and open that up to parking. We're not going to pave it because we've already talked to the Highlands and they frown upon paving, but there certainly is a way for us to designate parking. I mean, you go back there, Steve, we could probably triple the space, triple
yeah.
the amount of parking that we have back there. So we're desperately looking for some grant money to help us get that started sooner than later. Maybe it even makes sense to wait to actually install the commons or install the kiosk until we get that moved out. I don't know. We still need to figure some of this out. But again, the urgency here for me is to get this set up so we can start deciding where these parking zones should be. And I think the first couple are fairly obvious, right? Solitude Village and the Church Street area, North Main Street. Last year the residents were really stuck. You have homes there with no driveways, and then they have the whole street filled with cars. They can't even park in front of their own house. And if I'm a taxpayer, that's really annoying. It's not Belmar. It's not, it's not Summit or Hoboken. It's Highbridge. And we like the peace and quiet. We also like our open space. We want people to come and enjoy it, but we have to be able to enjoy where we live too. So I think, again, step in the right direction to eliminate some of the problems that we had last year.
Right. I have to say, I agree it's nice to enjoy our area. My concern would be more the safety aspect of having too many vehicles preventing emergency access and having more accidents and things. I do appreciate that residents found it disconcerting and frustrating, whatever you want to call it. But okay, that's comes and goes. I would worry more about the possibility of safety issues with many, many more cars that are unfamiliar with our roads and what's there. Creating the potential for accidents and or preventing emergency vehicles from getting through if there was a problem. And it was pretty crazy in some areas because of that last year. So I don't know. Of course, we're appropriating the money. That doesn't mean we're buying the thing yet, but we do have to appropriate the money first, I believe, to start the process. Am I correct?
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
This also opens up the borough to purchase the kiosk at any time without necessarily our approval. I mean, this is our approval, correct?
That's really not true. So the plan is to appropriate the money tonight, and I think we're probably going to put it on the next agenda for purchase. We still have some talking to do, Chief Bartman and Bonnie and I, but I think we've had a number of conversations already, and I think that we're 99% there.
I have to say, I want to make sure we also are careful with whatever we create about the various zones. Just because residents who have a visitor coming, getting a ticket could make them angry and not be appropriate. So I'm trying to think of some of the peripheral aspects of creating resident parking only zones and making sure we do that in a way that doesn't create new problems. So
yeah. We talked about that too, and Chief can even speak to this, but there is a way to register a visitor's vehicle or let the PD know that you're going to have a visitor parked on the street. It's really not that cumbersome. Right. And I think, listen,
I want to make sure we do it right.
For me here on West Main, I don't have a problem with people parking in front of my house. You're going to lose your side mirror. But if I'm on, Church Street or in the Lake or the Solitude Village area, sign me up, put me right on this list to get my car registered so that if anyone's parked in front of my house that doesn't belong there, I'm going to, make sure they get a ticket or find their way out. We saw what happened last year and, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if it does, this helps with the traffic because again, once these spaces are filled, that's it. There's nowhere else to go. The park is closed. And I'm talking about Lake Solitude here. We have those, we're still working on this, and I was going to talk about this more during my update, but we're still looking at that area, like how to make sure that we don't have people parking all over River Road. So again, this is another way to keep track of that. And we have plenty of time to talk about Lake Solitude. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but in any case, I think we're ready to vote on this, unless anybody else has anything to add.
Kind of not related, but sort of related. The Main Street parking spots that we have. I know when the county paves the road, are we going to look into, making those spots a little longer? I know we spent a lot of time trying to get as many spots as possible into that area, but it seems very city life where everything's tight, an SUV.
Yeah, we have some changes to make.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we needed to get things out there, but also I know that I had spent time talking to Chief Bartman about the various lengths that they're allowed to be or should be at the end of a line versus the middle of a line. And so we do have a diagram of exactly what the best layout of all the spots would be that gains spots, but also keeps sizes appropriate to get cars in and out. It wasn't worth going through all that niceness when you're going to tear it up. But as we do the paving, yeah, it would make sense to make sure it's exactly right. So, and it's all ready to go. All of and Chief has gone over it and made sure it's all good. So,
excellent.
Since we're open here, do we want to give the public their?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to ask our phone caller if they have any comments on this ordinance. Anybody else, if you want to raise your hand, we can address you. No? Okay.
All right. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2021-015.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2021-015.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
We didn't hear you, Adam.
I'm sorry, Schwartz.
I'm not convinced yet, but I'm going to vote yes just the same.
You don't have to vote yes.
No.
I mean, vote your conscience, honestly.
Hold on. Let's get through this if we can. Strain.
Sorry.
I'm
Yes.
voting yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Ordinance 2021-016, amend Borough Code Chapter 261, Parks and Playgrounds. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, we really didn't tweak very much. We just kind of tweaked the park hours to really align with the message we were trying to give to the DEP with respect to the Nassau Trails. We clarified Union Forge and the Commons Park 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. I think that was really the only changes, correct, Bonnie? Yeah. So that was it. It's just
And that was related to the basketball court and other things which have lights, and so it makes sense to have them be open after dusk.
Right. Yep. Anybody else? Any public comment? No.
I'm going to ask our phone caller to unmute if they would like to have any comments, and I don't currently see any hands at this time.
Okay. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2021-016.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2021-016.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, on to introduction of ordinances. Get ready. We've got a lot. Ordinance 2021-017, East Main and Highland Avenue Phase 1 drainage. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-017 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of May 13th, 2021. Ordinance 2021-018, East Main and Highland Ave Phase 1 road improvements. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Move. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-018 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of May 13th, 2021.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Oh.
This may sound ridiculous, but I'm going to ask directed toward Barry. As a resident of that road, that road, I'm okay voting on that next time to get it fixed.
Okay, yes,
There's
you're okay.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, you're
I want to
okay
get
with that.
fixed. I don't want to cause any problems.
If it was fixing your driveway, then we might have a problem.
That's okay.
But we're
I'm
okay
happy
with
with
the
the
road.
road. Okay, that's fine.
Ordinance 2021-019, Firehouse Air Conditioning Unit. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-019 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of May 13th, 2021. Ordinance 2021-020, Chapter 185, Parking Meters and Pay Machines. Motion to introduce ordinance 2021-020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
I just want to say, I think this is what I was wondering why I got bombarded with people saying, why are you putting parking meters on Main Street? But that's that one word right there that's scaring people. There's no meters. We're not proposing meters, just so everyone knows. Ordinance 2021-020 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of May 13th, 2021. Ordinance 2021-021, sewer pump house renovations. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-022, valves and piping for well 8. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-022 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of May 13th, 2021. On to the consent agenda. Does anyone want to take anything out for discussion? Okay. Motion to approve the consent agenda, resolution 136-2021 through 147-2021.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, on to council reports. We're actually making pretty good time still. So, Councilman Columbus, let's start with you on golf.
Sure thing. Okay, golf committee met this past Monday. The golf committee will be focusing on the customer experience, course conditions, asset preservation and maintenance, while keeping an eye on capital projects forecasted for the next 10 years. Some updates at the golf course. The control panel at the pump station is scheduled to be completed in May. The golf cart path repairs are about 2/3 complete, and I'd like to thank Rick and the DPW for their hard work there. And the remaining work is scheduled or expected to be completed early next month. We're experimenting with the tee times for maximizing usage. Tee times will go to 11 minutes from 12 minutes. Tee times will be reevaluated once the season picks up. The lower pond bubbler was ordered and scheduled to be installed next week. That'll help with algae and moving the water around down there, and help reduce any chemicals needed to keep the water nice. So that's a nice little add-on there. We have incredible numbers for the month of March. This may be the best start to the season ever for the course, certainly in the last 10 years. Some helping factors, we were able to shift membership payments from the prior year to the current year, and we plan to do so going forward. There are currently about 78 members right now. The course maintained normal rates through the off-season. The weather was suitable for golf, and the demand for play remains very strong. We had 1,769 rounds on a proposed budget of 911. That's 858 rounds above budget. So looking good there. Approximately 114K in revenue on a proposed budget of 35, 79,000 ahead of budget. Approximately 69K in total expenses on a proposed budget of 64K. It's 5K over budget. This is all approximate. Approximately 64K in EBITDA on the proposed budget up to approximately negative 29K. So we're 75K ahead of plan right now. EBITDA to date, approximately 47K on a proposed budget of negative 57K, which is approximately 104K ahead of the plan. It's truly an amazing first quarter right now. Normally, we're operating a little negative in the beginning of the year, and clearly with the memberships being pushed and good play right now, we're operating very, very nicely. The demand for golf is pacing strong for April, despite some work being performed at the course. I know they had some aeration. The April numbers have already beat the forecast in the first 2 weeks. So about 3,600 rounds on a proposed budget of 3,201, about 140K in revenue on a proposed budget of about 89,000. Already have about 73K in, 73,000, yeah, and 95,000 in expenses on a proposed budget of 98K. 45K in EBITDA on a proposed budget of negative 9K. So continuing a successful start to the 2021 season. Sorry, putting me back a little bit. Past and some past events and upcoming. The Members Golf Association kicked off the season with the opener last weekend. They had about 40 players. They'll continue every two events a month for the summer season. On April 28th, the 12th annual High Bridge Hills Classic will be hosted at the High Bridge Hills Golf Course by Voorhees High School. Over 20 regional high schools compete at this annual event. And on May 11th, upcoming, we are hosting the high school, an event in high school. Some of the best players in the state will compete at the Group 4 North 2 Section Championship. So that's all for golf right now, but a quick update on Comcast. The last meeting last month I had mentioned that gigabit speeds were coming. I do have confirmation that Comcast has upgraded their head end, and gigabit speeds are available in Warren, Hunterdon, and Morris counties now. I'm not promoting the gigabit for everybody, but I'd like to say I'm glad to see Comcast has finally made a step in the right direction in upgrading their head end, very least. So it's available if anyone wants it, and that's all I have. Thank you very much.
So how do we get it?
Questions? How do you get it?
Just call Comcast?
1-800-COMCAST. Yeah, if you have an account, just call 1-800-COMCAST. You can go on their website and do it too. I know they're running promos. I think they lock you in for like a 2-year agreement. I think you get a lock-in rate for like 3 years, I believe it is. I know they increased, if you had the blast service, I believe it was increased from 300 to 400 megs. So if you had blast, I think you may have already seen an increase. I had blast and I saw an increase in my service. So I don't think you get a true, gig, service. I think it's, 750 or something. But either way, it's night and day from the 300 or whatever you may have now. So obviously more costly too, but they lock you in at a rate for, I think it's 3 years and a 2-year commitment to it. So
Check it out. Thanks, George.
no problem.
As you were talking, I got a message on my computer that said your internet connection is unstable.
But they upgraded their head end. I don't know what they did to the network around here. I'd like to see them do something with that, but this is certainly a step in the right direction. So we'll take that as the plus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Ferry.
Okay, Historical Committee, April updates. The committee has been actively working at Solitude House, both inside and outside. Painting and decorating continues, and volunteers continue to come forward offering services to help with gardening, painting, and cleanup. The committee is proud of the feedback and support received through our new Facebook page, Highbridge History. We are pleased to announce its continued success and positive interaction with the community, evident with the increase in followers and likes. Thank you to our committee secretary, Priscilla Rocky, for her dedication to this page and its content. Thank you to committee member Mark Weatherby for all of the amazing videos and photographs, and to Dave Gessling, vice chair, for additional posts. The committee has begun its project of obtaining oral histories from longtime Highbridge residents. We have conducted a few interviews this month and look forward to presenting more video of these interviews, as with longtime beloved resident, Mr. Bill Gooley. The committee is pleased to announce that they have already grown out of their archival space and have relocated to a larger space on the second floor. Committee members continue to comb through the archival items and have begun scanning and categorizing these items. A new cataloging system will be put into use. Thank you for all of the donations received. We are honored to have a beautiful display of the 5 generations of tailors who were responsible for running the ironworks from the mid-1700s to the 1930s. A big thank you to Highbridge resident Wen Jing Feng for donating over 80 hours of time to draw lifelike sketches of the tailors, which are now proudly hanging in the entryway at Solitude. Lead paint and asbestos remediation has begun on the Solitude property to prepare for further interior renovation, and cable is being added to upgrade the security system and to be available to guests when Solitude reopens to the public. 2 boxes of the pictorial history of Highbridge books have been discovered, and the books are now on sale for purchase. Proceeds from the sale of these books will go to continued renovations at Solitude. And additional funding items, including t-shirts, Highbridge pins, and the Solitude tea blend available at Scouts, are also available for purchase. And these items are available on the borough website. And if you go to the events activities tab, you will find a drop down there to pay electronically for local residents. We do porch drop off. If not, we can mail it out to you. The committee is also proud to unveil its new logo. After much consideration, a logo design was chosen and will now be used on the committee correspondence and marketing material. A new video has been posted on our Facebook page to kick off our fundraising efforts to have the wall at Solitude repaired. The committee is looking forward to reopening Solitude to the town, but we need to have the wall repaired and driveway leveled in order to do so. The committee runs on sponsorships, fundraising, in-kind donations, and volunteer help, and not your tax dollars. So please check out our Facebook page, Highbridge History, or the borough website for donation information. And moving on to Springside Farm Action Committee. The committee hosted 3 community cleanup days, over 4,000 square feet of meadow restoration area cleared of invasive species that included Japanese barberry, multiflora rose, and wineberry. Volunteers, Susan and Bob Hawk, donated 3 large tarps. The tarps were installed to prepare the ground for the fall community seating event. Forest Service Tree Seedlings Award granted, and 50 native trees have been acquired and are ready for Earth Day weekend tree planting. This weekend, the event is on Sunday, the 25th from 9 to 12. If interested, please check out the event flyer on Save Springside Farm Facebook page, or email springsidecommittee@gmail.com for more information. The Highbridge Environmental Commission is in collaboration with the Springside Action Committee and applied for the 2021 ANJEC Open Space Stewardship Grant. The $1,500 award will support the Wild Hybrid Demonstration Gardens project on the farm. A few in-progress projects: the wildlife assessment of the meadow on Springside Lane, vegetation and animal. Like I just mentioned, the High Bridge Environmental Commission tree nursery project, and Worldwide Knit in Public Day in the pond area on the farm. Moving on to Events Committee, Soapbox Derby has been rescheduled for September 4th. Registration packets will be available in early June on the borough website. Pooch Parade has moved up a week to June 5th. The committee looks forward to the return of the summer concert series, and information on concert dates and movie dates will be out soon. And thank you to all of the sponsors who have donated to the events committee. Without your support, hosting events for the community would not be possible. If anyone is interested in being a sponsor for a specific event or general sponsorship, the event sponsorship packet is available on the borough webpage. And if you have any questions, please email events@highbridge.org. And don't forget to check out the borough's new Facebook page for event and news alerts. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. Councilwoman Moore, Finance.
The adjusted May tax bills with the homestead benefit credits were mailed to eligible recipients this month. If you did not receive an adjusted bill, it just means that you are not eligible. The utility bills will be going out the first week of May. And good news, because the resolution was passed tonight, that the website, the borough website, which has an option to pay your utility bill online, you used to charge $1.50 convenience fee. That's now been waived. So that's been, we passed that tonight. You don't have to pay that. So you can now conveniently pay your bill online instead of writing out that check every month. So you can just go onto the borough website, pay your bill, and you don't have to pay that fee. That's really nice. I don't write that check anymore. And that's it.
All right. Councilman Schwartz.
First, I have a report from our DPW. Since our previous meeting, DPW has been continuing to fill potholes, including the patching at the Krieger Road, New Jersey Transit Bridge, which was a pretty significant patching job. They have removed dirt from our commons, approximately 12 loads, and their goal is to clear out that back area, just like Mayor Lee has mentioned. They have continued picking up leaf bags at our residences on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. They've started mowing our municipal grass, and that's going to continue through the grass growing season. They are continuing to install new water meters. They have installed to date approximately 380 meters. By my estimation, it's probably about 10% of the water meters in town, so we've got a long way to go. They have started exercising valves per our water management plan and per DEP regulations. Sewer-wise, we had a clog in one of our two pumps on April 12th, which our Public Works Director had to clear. We have a malworking pump number 2, which needs to be replaced. Hopefully the new pump comes in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I think we need it fairly badly. I do have a message from our Director of Public Works to our public. Please use caution in the street areas around where our trucks are working. Please go slowly. Everyone wants to go home at night, including our DPW workers. April 12th is the start of our first round of brush pickup. Residents should have their brush on the curb no later than 7 a.m. on April 26th. If you do not have your brush out there early in the morning on the 26th, it's going to be another month before it gets picked up. With regards to water meter replacements, please call DPW at 908-638-6588 to schedule to have your water meter replaced if you want to have yours replaced in the near future. If you want leaf bags, they are free to residents from Highbridge, and they can be picked up at our DPW during working hours, 7:30 to 2:45 p.m., and there's a limit of 10 bags per house, but they are free to borough residents. All right. As far as engineering goes, one of our projects is the Washington Avenue River Road water main project is essentially complete. We do have another project going on in town in the near future. Capital Paving will be working on Highway 513 for the county, starting on Monday, April 26th. And residents should be aware that traffic will be reduced to one lane between 7:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. during the time that they're doing doing the paving. We don't have a specific end date that they forecast. I would think it'd be at a minimum of a week worth of time of paving. Engineering wise, we also met with we met with New Jersey Transit on April 6th about the status of the Krieger Road Bridge. Just to let everybody know, the design will be complete as of June of this year. They're going to be going out for bid. This is New Jersey Transit going out for bid, not the borough. In October through December, hopefully they will be able to contract it by December. They plan on starting the work on the Krieger Road Bridge by March of 2022 and complete it by September of 22. So hopefully by September of 22, that thing will be repaired and we won't have to necessarily worry about it. Now, New Jersey Transit has agreed to be responsible for the maintenance of that bridge as well until this process is done. So that's a positive. And we just need to provide them with notice when we see something wrong at the bridge so they can come out and fix it. April 13th, Bonnie, Rick, and I met with Collier's Engineering. They are currently designing the phase 1 of the sewer station renovations. That's supposed to be completed design-wise by Monday. I haven't seen anything yet, but that was the targeted date. It's supposed to be bid in May. And I would think that the construction on that sewer renovation should happen shortly after that, let's say June, July timeframe. We met with Suez Water about our water tanks, the one up on Fairview and the one in Solitude Village. We met them yesterday. I was only there for a portion of the meeting because I had to go to another one, but they gave us a presentation about the condition of our tanks and what they recommend in the near future with regards to essentially upgrading them to meet current standards. There's some minor repairs that need to happen on them with regards to vents and things like that. But the biggest issue they saw had to do with coatings on the Fairview tank. The coating, the painting of it is probably near the end of its life. It's going to need to be recoated relatively soon. The tank at Solitude Village does not need to be coated right away, but within the next, this is my guess, within the next few years, it's probably going to have to be done. Let's say 3-4 years down the line. And we have some more discussions to do about that because I believe that Suez wants our feedback to give us a proposal. So I think probably Bonnie, you, I, Rick need to discuss that over the next week or so we can give them some feedback so they can give us a proposal. Unless they happen to give us a proposal at the meeting yesterday, which I didn't think they were going to.
We gave them some information to work with, so they are going to come back to us with some numbers.
Okay, good. That's all I got.
All right. Good stuff. Councilman Strange.
Okay. I will start with the fire report from Chief Smith the Younger. For March, 27 incidents, 4 drills, 2 work details, and 6 volunteers staffing the station in the overnights as part of the North Hunterdon Mutual Aid Group from March 6th. 518.59 man hours. And very specifically, he put in the note to me something, I'm going to read it. It says, we have seen a rise in open burns around the borough, as well as a rise of brush fires around the county. It is brush fire season, and we need to be careful when having something as simple as a campfire in our backyards. There are rules and regulations on how and when you can burn. There is also a process to obtain a campfire permit, which is free. Please feel free to reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to guide and educate you in this process. So I went up and looked up the process. You basically ask for a permit from the New Jersey Forest Fire Commission. I think it's the commission. Anyway, and they provide you with a permit you fill out, and it's free, but it's good for 90 days. So if you have it for the summer, you've got it all summer. You renew it every 90 days, I guess, if you do it again. But they suggest to do it 10 days before you're planning to have a campfire. So there's the permit, and Chief Smith would be happy to help anyone out in working through that. The EDC meeting we had, you know what, I'll go down to police instead next. I've got the annual report from Chief Bartman here for 2020. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm going to kind of highlight some things. As people know, we have 7 full-time officers and 1 part-time administrative support secretary, and we have 6 school crossing guards. In our little town, we have 24-hour days, 7-day-a-week services provided by our small, but I have to say, very well-organized police force. They've seen some increases in things this past year, or actually in the last few years, I'd say. This past year, 11,002 total calls that they had to respond to. That's up from 8,700 the year before, and 8,200 the year before that. So last year definitely was a very busy year, we'll say. And they've been working very hard to keep up with any changes in what's going on, and to I don't want to say gung-ho, but to work very hard to protect us, keep our town safe. The report kind of goes over a lot of aspects of our department and how it runs. 3 different sections: administrative, what do you call it? Patrol and investigative. And patrol, of course, is the patrolling around the town and the crossing guards. Investigative, I think people picture criminal investigations, and we do that. We've had 19 cases assigned, and 19 closed administratively and 5 closed through arrest. But then the investigation also handles various other investigations, records checks, licensing investigations, alcohol beverage control investigations, et cetera, et cetera. So 36 record checks. Over this last year, I think our police department dealt with the same tremendous increase in firearms permits, for example, a 332% increase in 2002 versus 2019. So there's just a lot more investigative and paperwork to do, and they do a very good job of it, but they've been very busy. Let's see here. Let's move on to EDC here. We had an EDC meeting on the 6th, I believe was the date. There it is. I was actually at my mother-in-law's, so I suffered to move away from everybody and go to a room and have a meeting. And we discussed a few different things, but the main thing that we were focusing on was the QR code, that plan. That was kind of one of the main topics of discussion. We don't have a huge audience here, but just as a reminder, the idea is to put small posters at various popular locations around town with a QR code that someone can hold their phone up to, and it directs them to a link, a specific web page. And that page is a simple landing page that has buttons, map of the town, where's more parking, downtown food, whatever, a small number of them. And the hope is to be able to track which locations are looking for which things, so we can begin then to target what information we put in different areas and provide for people. So we're giving people what they need and want to help move people to parking or to businesses or whatever needs to happen. Once again, looking ahead to possibly a lot more traffic come the summer. So that is moving ahead. We've got Adam has helped me to come up with an actual URL that we can turn into a QR code. And we're then trying to do that next step with the website people to be able to do the click-through monitoring and analysis and see who from where is clicking what. There was a little bit of discussion about the possibility of Rails to Trails and other grants related to some of the trail stuff around town. That was really just kind of a small amount of discussion. One of the things that we brought up to Natalie there is one of those buttons at the various locations should be a link to the Highbridge History Facebook page and the Springside Farm. Any of those things should be a component of those links. It shouldn't just be downtown businesses. People may be looking for that. And so we would want to add that button to the page as well, assuming it's okay with the Historic Committee. With the new Solitude Station opening in town, I don't know if anybody's gone in and visited. I went in and said hi. I talked to the business owner. There was a discussion amongst EDC. Have we updated our welcome packet for new businesses or new residents lately? So I think that's something that we will be looking into over the next month or so. Just kind of a reminder, hey, we have a new business. What does our packet look like? And I know we had one, or we have one. I'm not sure the last time exactly it was updated to make sure it's current. So check through and see what it is. And then also we are currently as well reaching out to businesses to see what they would want to have in a packet like that, what might be useful, what they would need from us if they need help with something like that. Okay, the only other thing I have, which I was just going to mention the trails meeting that we had, if that's okay, Michelle. I don't know if you were going to cover that or.
That's fine.
With this ongoing situation with the property over off of the Nassau Road, we'll say the Springside Trail system that connects to Foran Field in Clinton Township. It looks as if that long process of the wheels of government turning with the DEP is coming, nearer to a resolution. And part of that is that, we've got people that maybe are not aware that, they're not supposed to be on certain trails. They've been closed and they're reopening by kindly removing the things we've put in the way to close off the trail. They need to leave them there. And we also have people riding motor vehicles back there that shouldn't be. So one of the things that came out of the trails meeting is we will be making a press release, sending out information about that to kind of really make it public that you shouldn't be doing these things back there, and make it very clear that this is the official position, not just some people that work on trails saying it, that really is our town, both towns' position on it. So not that there's a huge crowd here, but if you're listening, watch for that announcement and watch for that information, because especially with this brush with the DEP, if you will, we want to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing and making sure that other people are as well going forward. That. Okay, I think that does it for me.
Okay. You're up, Bunny.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to go.
Oh my gosh, how'd I forget? Sorry, Lynn.
You just want to move on, I know. Well, I'm shorter than Steve, so.
I accidentally drew a line through your name. I'm sorry.
I just real quick. Thank you to Girl Scout Troop 80222. A couple of years ago, they asked if they could adopt the gazebo in the Commons to beautify it and keep the area around it, the gardens, nice. And they have been faithfully coming back every year. Last year with COVID, they still went over. This year, they just finished. They sent me some pictures. They weed, they plant, they just continually look after it, and they do it throughout the whole summer if it needs watering. So it's so nice to have a group who comes up and wants to start a project and then actually follows through with it for year after year. We really appreciate that. So thank you to Girl Scout Troop 80222, and we really appreciate very much. Board of Health, to kind of piggyback with what Alan was saying, we have in the newsletters, we have on the website, but we just want to reiterate that not any kind of wipe can get flushed in the toilet. Zero kind, none. Even if it says flushable, no wipes, because that caused the most recent problem. It was a very gross looking picture I had to look at of that. And it caused damage. And then our DPW has to spend extra time taking care of a problem. So even if it says flushable, no matter what, no wipes, any kind, sanitary ones, the Lysol, Clorox, any type, they can't go in the toilet. Please help us to keep our sewer system working well. That's from the Board of Health. And electronics recycling event. Our annual event is this weekend, Saturday from 8:30 to noon down at Union Forge Park parking lot. If you have any Freon items, it's the best way to get rid of them because it's only going to cost you $10, either exact cash or a check made out to Highbridge Borough. And rain or shine, will be there. So bring your electronics and white goods. It's your chance to get rid of them. That's it.
Thanks, Lynn. Now you're up, Bonnie.
Okay. I've been working on coordinating the historical grant applications and the timing of the proposed projects with Natalie and the historical committee. Investigating some other grant opportunities through the Highlands and the state of New Jersey. I've been reviewing our capital budget and coordinating timetables for starting various projects and purchases. Looking into the long-term maintenance program for the water tanks, as Alan mentioned, and working on plans for parking at the Commons, of course, and plans for summer use at Lake Solitude. And I just want to mention also, Lynn, you might have more background on it, but we do have a box now at Borough Hall for plastic recycling. So if you have plastic bags and you want to get rid of them, we do have a box available for recycling. The idea is that these will be made into a bench at some point in time when we gather enough of them.
Right.
So,
that's a project for a Girl Scout Gold Award.
Yes.
And she never got back to me because I had said to her Borough Hall might not be the best place and maybe she wanted to put them in schools where we had more traffic, but I guess she just decided to put it there
It's
and didn't
here.
tell anyone. So it's good that you
No,
mentioned
she and I talked a couple of times. I'm sorry. I thought we were all on that email. Yeah, I finally did say Borough Hall will be fine and can we help you promote it? And she said they only had so much space, so they didn't really want too much promotion.
All right.
So it's here. If anybody, has bags, bring them down.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. I really don't have that much that people didn't talk about already. As Bonnie mentioned, we are really diving into our prep for this summer to try to, hopefully, listen, I'm happy to have people come to town and have the borough be busy, but we want to just make sure it's a little bit more organized and that we're prepared for it. More so than we were last year with the proper garbage and restrooms and all that, monitoring and make sure that we have the staff that can help pick up the garbage at the end of the day. We talked, Bonnie and Rick and Chief Bartman and I kind of did a little tour of that area and decided, where we wanted to direct cars and how we might want to do that. And so we're still kind of working through some of these thoughts and, really, our plan is just to keep a close eye on things, specifically down at the Lake Solitude issue where we had all the crowding last year. So we're just going to kind of casually keep an eye on things and adjust accordingly along the way. I think the parking that we talked about tonight and creating these parking zones is going to go a long way to helping with that. There's still some holes in our plan here, but hopefully we're going to find a resolution to those here in the next few weeks. To follow up with what Steve was talking about, yes, for better or for worse with the DEP, it kind of forced us to look at some holes in our plan with the trails. We have a new team, an ad hoc committee that we're going to be forming, a trails committee for now. Perhaps it'll be a formal committee at some point, but for right now, we're just kind of having the trail experts, as I would say, both on the hybrid side and the Clinton Township side, are going to come together and coordinate some signage. We're going to coordinate, parking areas there for sure. And most importantly, we want to make sure we're communicating to the public in Highbridge on the Facebook pages that we have this group of people that are, authorized personnel for the borough that are there to help us monitor the area. If a trail needs to be maintained or a tree needs to be cut down, there are people that are going to be doing this. We don't need, people that don't have a waiver on file or really we don't want people coming in and making their own trails. So we are going to be putting out a PSA to that regard, because we have seen evidence of people out there with motorbikes, and we finally got past this issue with DEP, so we want to make sure we don't have a new issue with them. So keep an eye out for that. I wrote it down, so I'm just going to also mention it, the flushable wipes, because that picture was disgusting. It was a 5-pound ball of not flushable wipes, and please don't put them in the toilet. And then finally, my mayor's walk again is this Sunday in Highbridge. Mayor Kovach and I and a dedicated group of people from both municipalities have been joining us every Sunday. It's a lot of fun. I know Sunday's not the best day for everyone, but if you can't come out, it's 11 o'clock. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And every week there's the same people, some new people, some people don't show up again, but we do have fun. It's about 10,000 steps. I've been keeping track and averaging about 3 miles. So every little bit helps to get rid of that COVID-19, as I like to say. And that's all. That's on my report. On to the second round of public comments.
Okay.
Person.
All right, I'm going to ask our phone caller to unmute, and anybody else to use the raise your hand function if you'd like to have any public comments.
Okay. Communications.
We have the monthly tax and finance report and an ANJEC letter of support.
Great. Bonnie, I love that monthly report that you put together. Again, nobody's listening to us talk here tonight, but if anyone really wants to catch up on the day-to-day activities going on inside Borough Hall, you read that monthly report from Bonnie. It has a lot of information in there. The bill list.
We have a total of $2,360,876.31.
Motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
All right. There's no further business. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Barry, I forgot to ask you if there was any legal matters. You're not even on our agenda anymore.
The reason being, we don't have any lawsuits that we have to deal with. And I don't think people really want to hear that I help Bonnie with this ordinance, or I help, Adam with this Oprah request, or Brett with this, so there's really, if there's something major that needs to be reported on, that's when I think we'll put that, the legal report back on. But for now, I'm happy to say that it's not really necessary to go into those kinds of details.
That's good
Thank
news.
you, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it. An hour and a half.
Thank you, everybody.
Next council meeting, May 13th, 7:30 via Zoom. You guys have a good night.
Good night,
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good night, all.
Good night.